Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Fasting can be difficult and it comes with several challenges. There's a statement in English, modern English, it's called hangry. It's when you're hungry and you're angry at the same time, but you're angry because you're hungry. And this is a reality for some people because what happens is when you're resisting temptations throughout the day, resisting water, resisting food, your self-control begins to become challenged. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said in an authentic hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, he said, "As-siyamu junnah," that fasting is a shield. فَإِذَا كَانَ يَوْمِ صَوْمِ أَحَدِكُمْ فَلَا يَرْفُثْ وَلَا يَصْخَبْ. That when any one of you is fasting, they should not speak any obscene things. Be careful of using bad language or saying foul language, bad words basically, and don't raise your voice and don't start getting upset and excited and shouting or something like that. Be very cautious about that. And then he said, فَإِنْ سَابَّهُ أَحَدٌ أَوْ قَاتَلَهُ فَلْيَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. If somebody insults you or somebody tries to pick a fight with you, you should say, I'm fasting. You have to remind yourself and you remind the other person that I'm not going to fall for the bait. I'm not going to give in and I'm not going to lose my temper and get into an argument with you or get into a debate with you or get into a fight with you. Now, why does that happen? Why is it more important when we're fasting? It's because what happens, and this is well known, is that as the time progresses and time goes by in the day, people get more hungrier and hangrier. They get thirsty and they start to think about, your focus becomes on food. Your focus becomes on what's happening to your body, and you start to lose a little bit of the self-control that you would normally have in other things. And that's just natural. In fact, there's research that shows in most business schools, they study that important business decisions, they should be made earlier in the day. Because the more you have to go through and think about very difficult problems throughout the day, the less you begin to focus and you're able to make that decision. When it comes to judgments as well, the same thing. Many judges in many countries, they're told to take the most difficult cases early in the morning, because what happens when you take too many cases and you're making too many decisions, eventually your ability to process things correctly, it begins to fade throughout the day because you get this fatigue. You get tired of all those decisions. So we have to be extra careful and self-aware that, my ability around 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., my ability to keep on resisting has gotten down, so I need to just take it easy a little bit. Because people do. They get upset. They get angry. And if we understand this principle about ourselves, and we see that, sometimes I begin to lose control because I'm fasting, because it's harder for me, I've had a difficult day. You tell someone, don't mess with me because I'm fasting. Just take some time for yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to remind yourself that you're fasting. You don't want to remove the benefit of your fast, the blessing of your fast. But it should also teach you empathy for somebody else. If somebody came and said something mean to you, if somebody lost their cool with you, and if you knew that they had the flu, they were sick, you'd say, you know what? Okay, I understand. The person's been having a bad day, something happened at work, or they're really sick right now. Let me not take this so personally because of what they said or what they did to me. Well, the same thing is when you encounter somebody else who's fasting, and you know yourself that sometimes your fuse can get short near the end of the day. Make excuses for your brothers and sisters too and say, you know what? Probably had a really tough day. Someone is complaining about, something in the Muslim community. Like always, there's always people complaining about something or the masjid or whatever it is. And say, you know what? Brother got really upset. Maybe he's just having a bad day. Maybe he's been fasting. Maybe he forgot to have suhoor or something like that. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Make excuses for other people as well, so that other people can make excuses for you too. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help us to control our anger and our temptations in this month of Ramadan, and to become stronger as we resist these temptations and these urges. Ameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.